I died a lot.
What's up, everybody? My name is Leihua, and welcome to the Superfina channel. I am a Hawaii variety content creator, host of podcasts across worlds, and I stream on twitch.tv/LeihuaSuperfina. Today we are reviewing a game called Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Shout out to 2K for giving me this opportunity to cover this game. They provided me a key, and I appreciate it. Thank you guys, because I had my eye on this game. Let me just give you some backstory. Now, if y'all are familiar with Borderlands, you are familiar with Tiny Tina. Yeah, she's from Borderlands, and she's got her own game. She made a board game that's based off of Dungeons and Dragons, right? Okay, so I have the games for Borderlands. I do. I have not played them. Crazy. Right, I have them, but I haven't played them. I had every intention to play these games, to play with other people, because I have friends who have Borderlands, okay? I had every intention, but I just never got to it. But, for some reason, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands caught my eye. I was like, I gotta play this. Now, when I said for some reason, I know the reason why, because I love fantasy. I love Wonderland. And the way Tiny Tina talks, her language, her verbiage just resonates with me, okay? Yeah, I love it. So besides that, I was totally in for Wonderlands. Not Borderlands, Wonderlands. Yeah, I was super excited for it. So when I got this opportunity to review it, I was like, heck yeah! Now this is how you describe Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Bullets, magic, and broadswords collide across this chaotic fantasy world brought to life by the unpredictable Tiny Tina. Roar your own multi-class hero and loot. Shoot, slash, and cast your way through outlandish monsters and loot-filled dungeons on a quest to stop the tyrannical dragon lord. Tiny Tina is your disorderly guide through an extraordinary tabletop realm where rules rarely apply. Explore a vast overworld spanning majestic cities, dank mushroom forests, foreboding fortresses, and more. In Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, you're going to make your character. There's a lot of options. You can make this character however you want. You can get crazy with it. And then you have your classes. They have different classes, which are Berserker, Clawbringer, Graveborn, Spellshot, Spore Warden, and Stabomancer. I picked the Spore Warden. I don't normally pick this type of class. This class, when I first saw it, it was saying about dexterity. It showcased using a bow and arrow. I'm normally a heavy hitter because those are really easy to get into. A really good starter, but I was like, I kind of like the way the Spore Warden looks. I like the companion. The companion was this freaky looking life-size mushroom, okay? I dug it. I was like, I want that companion. So I picked Spore Warden because of that. From here on, I'm going to let you guys know my experiences and my impressions as I was playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, because I can tell you all the specs, the mechanics and such, but you're not going to know if I have fun or not. I want to be able to let you know what I felt while playing this game, because I felt all kinds of stuff, alright? So when you start playing these games, of course, you're gonna get the tutorials so you know how to play, the mechanics and such. And another thing I need to let you know, I'm bad at shooters. Oh my goodness. Okay, I had to get used to the shooting. I was really bad at the aiming. I had to get used to having that focal point where it had that target of a circle, and when an enemy lands is aligned with it, it turns red, and that's when you shoot, you pull the trigger. Yeah, I had to get used to that, but it took me, I want to say, a few days to get used to that. Totally fine. And I had to get used to pressing R3 for the melee weapon. I'm used to pressing, you know, all the other buttons. Triangle, square, X. You know, I'm used to pressing those. I'm used to pressing R1, R2 for the melee weapons. But no, those other buttons were like for shooting and whatnot. triangle. It was meant to switch the ranged weapons. So I had to get used to that, which was fine. It was totally fine. I appreciated the tutorial. The tutorial was pretty long, I must say. It was, I want to say, like 4 hours, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. Usually with tutorials, I'm like, are we with the story yet? Are we going beyond this? Like, I'm really tired of all this baby me because I'm just starting. No. This game is not forgiving at all. Like, once you reach some type of boss person, be ready to die. And the thing about this kind of reminds me of Stranger of Paradise, because when you die, you go back to your checkpoint and such. And sometimes it gets harder after you die. Like, you come back and it's like, yeah, we upped the difficulty. That's what it feels like. I'm not too sure if that's for everybody. Maybe I'm just not that great, but I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better. I am getting better. I'm just saying. But besides that, so I'm with the story, right? The story is interesting, and it's kind of funny because it's supposed to reflect off of a tabletop game. So you're going through the story, and there's 2 different modes. There's one where you're in the world, you're in like the stage area, you're fighting the creatures, and there's a tabletop world where you're literally having like a chibi like version of yourself, and you're walking around, and you encounter objects that kind of reminds me of Mario vs. Rabbids. Yeah, I said that because there's just one area where there's like a soda can that's spilled, and the soda coming out of the soda can creates a river, and you make bridges. There's like some bottle caps in there, and you punch the bottle caps, and it creates this bridge. Yeah, totally reminds me of Mario vs. Rabbids, and I love it. There's this one scene where I was prompted to go to this area for the story, and then there was a cheese puff in my way, and one of the characters is like, Tina, did you drop that cheese puff? And she's like, what do you mean? No, I didn't. That was there on purpose. And she's being called out on it. She's like, this is a meteor, a magical meteor that landed here. You need to get a key. And so we're prompted to go to this area to get a key. And when we go to these areas, it's sort of reminding me of waves. Yeah, horde mode. You just go inside the area and you just gotta destroy everybody. Kill all your enemies, or at least kill the leaders. If you can find them, if there's a leader. Some of them just feel like you just got a bunch of people coming at you. And it's not just people. It's zombies, it's skeletons, it's trolls, it's goblins. It's crazy when they're all coming at you. I don't like the goblins. The goblins have different classes. I had to encounter some that had like some type of like mage class, and there was fire, ice, electricity. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting my butt kicked. I died a lot. I tell you, I died a lot. You just feel like it's you against the whole world, which it is. And I felt like I was meant to play with other people, which I think it is, but I didn't play with other people because I'm not familiar with Borderlands, and I didn't want people to know I wasn't familiar with Borderlands, and I didn't want people to realize that I'm bad at shooting. But I kept playing because I was very stubborn, and I wanted to finish this quest. And this wasn't even the story quest. This was a side quest. You know what quest I was going for? I was going for the quest looking for the stinkiest loincloth of a goblin. Yeah, that's the side quest I went for, and that's the type of side quest they have in this game, which is hilarious. I must say, it's really funny. I enjoy it. Now, the interesting thing about this game is, in the story, you will have a statue made after you. The statue will legitly look like you. So when you're making your avatar and such, if you're like me and you took a super long time making your avatar because there's so many options, so many choices to make them how they look, brah. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands gives you so many choices. It's nuts. I went for red skin, red hair, black lips, glowing eyes, and then they give you choices for the clothes, and they give you choices for primary color, secondary color, color for the patterns, what type of patterns you want for your clothes. I'm like, dang, there's so many choices. Not gonna lie, I feel like it took me an hour to just make my character, which is normal for me. So if you're someone who's like, whatevers, totally fine. You can be whatevers because you can change it after. So in the game, once at some point, there's going to be a statue made after you, right? It's really going to look like you. You're going to go to this area where you can store your weapons, and you can also edit your character. You can edit the way it looks. That means you can edit the way your statue is going to look. There's going to be different poses for the statue. You can use different materials for the statues. It's really cool. I like how consistent it is. So it's consistent with your character. It's consistent with the statues. It's consistent with your chibi character on the tabletop board. Another thing that's consistent is with the companions. Yeah, I didn't know this until I started playing around with the different features of my character, because some of the loot that you get is some of the cosmetic stuff for your characters. Like you can unlock different hair color, style, lips, tattoos, designs, etc, etc, etc. So when I went to edit, play around with the way my character looks, see what I unlocked and whatnot, when I looked back at my companion, it reflected what I edited. I didn't know the way my companion looked was going to be connected to how my character looks. I thought that was really cool. That consistency, yo! Remember when I said that you can store your items? Alright, this game is going to give you a lot of loot. You're going to feel like, oh no, I need to keep whatever I can. I need to preserve some for crafting. You know what? In the beginning, don't even bother with it, alright? Because you got some different rarities of weapons. Okay, if you got some that are common, drop it and get your new ones. There's gonna be about 36 slots for your inventory. You're going to fill that up pretty quick. So after a certain point in the game, you're going to encounter these vending machines. This is where you can sell your weapons, accessories, items, whatever it is you have. You can finally sell them. Now, I ran into the problem of some of my common items value was more than the higher rare items, so I had to prioritize by price. And if it was super rare, I still kept it even though it was a lower value, because I have a feeling that I'll be able to reuse it, like for crafting and whatnot later on. And some of these vending machines, they have pretty good items. Not gonna lie, in the beginning, you're gonna encounter some of these items later on, and it's like, oh man, I just bought this. I just used my money and bought this, and I got it as loot anyways. Like, I kicked myself for that. I was like, whatever, just sell the rest of my items that I picked up. I literally picked up these items, ran back to the vending machine, and sold them, and got my money back. Yes, I did. So if you're like me, frugal in real life, frugal in the game, go for it. Do that technique that I just did. No shame. No shame at all. There's a lot of stuff to do in this game. Like, I forgot that it was co-op. I was still playing on my own. There's so much to do in the world, over the world, on the tabletop thing, picking up side quests in the story, picking up quests in the overworld above the tabletop. Like, there's just so much. And when I'm playing my character, I pick Spore Warden, right? I'm so glad I picked this class, because You have your ranged weapons, you have your melee weapon, you have your companion, and then there's the abilities, there's magic, and I'm so appreciative of my abilities. So I had two when I first start, right? I had the one where it's like a barrage, where there's like just a bunch of arrows just shooting at my enemies, like whoop whoop, yes. But then when I got my second ability, it was like a bunch of tornadoes, twisters, and such going after my enemies, kind of freezing them, making them cold, slowing them down, to the point that sometimes they die. I loved it. It made it so much easier for me, who was not used to shooting games. This is perfect. So if you're like me, you're not familiar with shooting games, I suggest you go with the foreboding. And if you have another class, hopefully you have that second ability like I did, because it is a lifesaver. I'm just saying, it's amazing. And the companions help so much. My companion was kicking butt, yo! Yeah! And that's my review of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands for the PlayStation 5, published by 2K and developed by Gearbox Software. Let me know what you guys thought about this video, the game. Are you gonna get it? Are you not gonna get it? How come? Why? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to talk outside of YouTube, there is a Discord. Link is in the description. I also stream on twitch.tv/superfina. Outside of YouTube and Twitch, I host podcasts across worlds where we talk about anime and manga and other things we're interested in. If you like podcasts like that, links to the podcast is in the description. We're available on all platforms. Other than that, my name is Leihua, and this is the Superfina channel reviewing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands for the PlayStation 5. Hope you guys like this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Laters!